And coming up right now is Destination Germany, one of the best features of the show, because moi is the one who presents it. Moi.
You could just say ish. It's German, so...
Moi just sounds so nice.
French. So what is Destination Germany?
It's where we show you somewhere that is really cool in Germany, somewhere that you might like to visit. It could be something like huge that you're like, oh, I know about that place, and now I know a little bit more. Or it could be some tiny little corner that's tucked away, and you're like, oh, that is so cool. I totally need to go there.
Yes, yeah. And all of the pictures are available online of each week's destination at thisweekingermany.de.
That's true.
It's the best website for all your This Week in Germany needs. And last week's episode was great, especially if they're the type of person who likes looking for a great place to go shopping, or at least window shop, while having the chance to take in beautiful buildings and monuments with great food options. We went to the Zeil, one of Frankfurt's signature streets. They've built it up into a pedestrian shopping park with many gigantic department stores, as well as unique boutiques as well. When you're visiting Frankfurt, you must check out the Zeil if you have enough cash to shell out on shopping. But now on with the feature Destination Germany. Where is our destination this week, Rob?
This week we're going back down to southern Germany in the state of Bavaria. We're going to be staying out of the museums and amusement attractions this week. In fact, we're going to be staying away from people in general with this week's destination.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm sick of people.
I'm going to tell you about a location that you can take in Germany's natural scenery. We're going off to the Berchtesgaden. Berchtesgaden National Park.
Yes.
Yes, we're going to a national park, the Berchtesgaden.
The B something national park. So you're going to cover an entire national park in one episode. I mean, they can be pretty large. Can you fit everything in?
Yes and no. The park is not so huge compared to other national parks in Germany, but that's not saying there's not much going on there. The park is just over 200 square kilometers, so it is pretty small for a national park, but there is tons of cool stuff to see and do there, so I'm going to jump right into it.
Wait. First you have to tell us where the park is. I mean, if the park's small, it's in Bavaria, but it could be anywhere in Bavaria.
All right, you are. The park is way down south and east, and I'm talking right in the very southeastern tip of Germany, right on the border of Austria, right there. Is the major city that it's close to is Salzburg, which is in Austria, and it's about 40 kilometers south of this city.
So it goes into Austria as well?
No, it's a German national park, so all the actual parkland is located within the German borders.
Okay, so there's lots of places with trees everywhere, so why should they go to this one in particular?
Well, first and foremost, the scenic views from both high up on top of the mountains and from the valleys below are simply amazing. As we're in southern Germany, there are some pretty huge mountains, and the Berchtesgaden park is actually the only national park where it touches the famous Alps mountain range that everyone knows about.
That's pretty interesting, and your pronunciation wasn't so bad. So the land is pretty much untouched by any sort of development. So, I mean, I guess it's untouched by any sort of development, being a national park and all.
Yeah, that was exactly what it was created for, to preserve the specific landscape that makes this UNESCO Biosphere Reserve that they created 25 years ago so beautiful. There are no settlements here, just beautiful, untouched nature.
Nature, so beautiful. Other than the mountains and valleys, what else draws visitors to this wild national park reserve?
In the middle of the park, there's a gigantic lake that is almost 8 kilometers long, but only 2 kilometers wide. The reason that this lake is in the valley between the mountains, and I'm talking about some like huge, steep, rocky walls, is that the lake was here, and during the Jurassic Rift, there was a glacier there, and when the glacier melted and formed this huge, long, narrow lake, and now visitors can go to this lake and see a wonderful reflection of the surrounding mountains and forest down this long stretch of narrow lake. And if you go there in the morning, you might even get some cloudy mist floating over the lake and gives it that really tranquil feeling.
Very nice. And the way you describe it makes it sound like this lake must have a regal name, perhaps. Am I right?
It does.
Am I guessing right?
Königsee, meaning King's Lake.
Königsee.
Königsee, yes. It's a very clear and clean lake that has a emerald green tint. And also about this lake is another reason it's a big visitors draw, is that there's a famous church there, the Church of
Saint Bartholomew, is that right?
That is
It's
correct,
famous,
Bartholomew.
so I knew that one.
And it's right there on the lake's edge, and so you can go and visit it. And from nearby, you can take a boat tour, and if you're lucky, the guide may play a flugelhorn to show off the valley's echo. It's kind of like a trumpet.
Okay. Very nice. So if I want to go and see this park the way you've described, I mean, just from the lake alone, it just sounds really, really cool. But you said that there are other things to see here as well, and I believe there's a certain historic notoriousness about this place too.
There is, and besides the mountains, the valley, the lake, if you're lucky, you can see a lot of wild animals that are living in this environment. There's red deer, goat-like creatures called chamois
or chamois, depending
or
on how you want to
in New
pronounce it.
Zealand, which we're in Germany, it's a chamois, but yeah, chamois. And and they're also true mountain goats called a alpine ibex, which I believe I'm pronouncing correctly. And these are like when you picture a mountain goat with some
huge
huge horns
yeah.
on some cliffs. This is what you're going to see. So watch out for those. And also being a national park, there's a wide variety of different trails and that you can either go hiking or biking on. I'll take you all throughout the forest. And there's a Franciscan monastery on top of one of the mountains. And if you're brave, you can go swimming in the chilly waters year-round pretty much. I forgot to mention there are a couple other huge reasons to come to this park. One is it was where Hitler's vacation spot was. The Kehlsteinhaus. Kehlsteinhaus, which is better known that you might know it as the Eagle's Nest, and where that is.
It's, by the way, it's pronounced Eagle's Nest.
Tours are offered year-round, and there's also a restaurant. It's been turned into a restaurant, and it's a beer garden.
Wow, they turned Hitler's holiday home, well, it's quite a big home, into a beer garden? Well, I mean.
And you can be wowed even more, though, if when you go, there's waterfalls all around this area that are trickling through the mountains and into the lake. And if you want that real experience in the park, they've recently opened up an inn that's like an inn/kind of restaurant, cafe, that you can stay overnight. But if you want a spot, you're going to have to book way, way in advance, like almost like a year or so in advance, because there's only a certain amount of rooms and lots of people want to stay there.
So any tips on traveling to Berchtesgaden?
Well, you can always drive, and it said there's plenty of parking there, so that's not going to be a problem. Or you can take a train or bus to Salzburg, which is the major closest city there, and then from there you can take a smaller bus or tram, or not tram, but a smaller bus or train to some of the cities that you can just get into the park from.
Very, very nice. And I'm sure after everyone hears this, they're going to really want to check out the photos of the Berchtesgaden National Park to see what it really looks like. So if you'd like to see, go and check out some of the great images on thisweekingermany.de and just click on the post for this episode. And while you're there, you might want to check out some of our previous destinations as well.